All right. So many years ago, I had a flow of energy going through me that allowed creativity to speak. And one of these is called the Mate Hate or Mate Hate Cycle. So I just figured I'd share it. Mate Hate. Looking in the eyes, feeling mesmerized, desiring the highs between your thighs. We living for the taste, so we make haste to feel the penetration. No time for conversation, just animalistic consolation, needing to end the frustration. We horny, not thinking devilish, but beating meat with the steak. With each stroke you penetrate my insides. Weeks go by, now you leave me without a high, just want to creep up my thigh. Asking you for more, no longer waiting to be your whore. Sexing is the chore, and you penetrate me. We mate then hate. For Christ's sake, I made a mistake. We mate then hate. Put Christ on the throne before you bone. Put Christ on the throne before you bone. For real? Begging you to take me for more than a toy, but I see you as the boy I mistook for a man. And I know I am to blame, took too much for that fast lane. All you can say is I complain, but my womb is not for your pain. Trying to be your lady and you straight shady, now you're in my heart, but I never knew you from the start. We thought the connection was perfection. With each interjection you say, F me, but you still F me. We hate then mate. For Christ's sake, I made a mistake. We mate then hate. Put Christ on the throne before you bone. I give you all I got, but what I want you don't got. Oh, I was just too hot. But how do we stop the cycle of mate and hate? I finally resist the itch. Then you call me big, cause I don't want to mate. Now you really hate. Why now? Why now can't we be friends, but you promised so much then? Friend to the end. I give, you take. Trying to live for more than heat. You never took me out to eat. I'm about to break from love to hate. Because this boy just took and take, and this girl just give and gave. We make then hate. For Christ's sake, I made a mistake. We make then hate. Put Christ on the throne before you bone. Or end up mad while you alone. Lord, my heart and soul ache. No more pounding shall I take. This mate I refuse to hate. This mate no longer can penetrate. To you I give my love. Take me, your love. I know I disobeyed. No longer to be a slave. For Jesus' love saved. Once I forgave the mate that hate. Or the mates that hated. We mate then hate. For Christ's sake, I made a mistake. We mate then hate. Put Christ on the throne before you bone. You want to penetrate, then hate because I stopped for Christ's sake. Can I get a break? You're breaking my heart, but I never knew you from the start. Thought you were my mate. Thought you were my mate, but all you wanted was taking my soul apart. No, I'm not a saint, but Jesus died for a remake in my heart. We mate then hate, but my heart you won't break. For Christ's sake, I made a mistake. We mate then hate. Taking the word for granted, now wishing actions recanted. I am coming out the zone. I cast you out of my home. Replacing Christ on the throne and Christ alone. Now, that was mostly for a female versus males. Because at that time, I was thinking about the sorry dude I was, as well as so many sorry dudes out here. And as I transition, I say like that was 2016. No, that was 2015 when I made that. But now I look at 2023 and there's a lot of dudes out here feeling the same way. So they could go either way. But anyway, preacher hat side, right? Sometimes I used to wonder, I'm not a pastor. I just pray people can take steps off my mistakes so they won't have to make the same mistakes. And I can say something that make you think about what you're doing. And even if it's not relationships, and I've had a lot of experience with relationships, Go figure, right? But I still believe in relationships, but I believe in being healthy enough to have relationships. And a lot of us have so much lust that we can't trust ourselves in relationships, not just the other person, because if you set up boundaries, you can learn a person enough to push back and say, no, not yet, or maybe, or just no. Just no, it's okay. I ain't got to be a hoe no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to do that. I don't need another notch on my belt. You know what I'm saying? I got enough notches on my belt. Okay. I got enough experiences. You know what I'm saying? Whew. I know, right? This is so not like my channel, right? So this is just hitting it from a scriptural standpoint. The Mate Hate Cycle. Sometimes I used to wonder why people mate, then transition to hate. I concluded that we never knew who we were mating, then end up hating, that we wasted time for obvious reasons and tried to make a season that turned into a fall. When we rehearsed the curse in our relationship, looking for a nurse to heal the last one we was with, we repeat the cycle of mating and hating. But the reality is we are hating ourselves because we never took the time for ourselves to be ourself for our mental health. Got to be healthy before you be in a relationship. Luke 4:18-19, New King James Version. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to heal the brokenhearted, to heal the brokenhearted. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives. Are you in bondage to lust, to being in a relationship, to the ideal of being with somebody versus just being cool by yourself? Can you really come home? Have you had so much energy in your home that you have not cleansed your home from all those energies that you brought through? I'm just saying, think about it. It took me a while for me to be able to come home and recognize this is my house where I've been paying the mortgage on it for You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, really? Before the memory runs out of my phone, let me keep recording. I do not have an iPhone, by the way. So to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, are you so in your way that you can't see past you? Your faults, your mistakes, your point of view? To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Oh, I missed one. And recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. Have you not found your voice? Have you not recognized that you are the one who need to take your shackles off? Right here. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Luke 4:18-19. Furthermore, the chore of love is too much when lust is the forefront of the motivation. Frustration comes in when we see that sin that besets us and brought the climatic end, whether cussing, fussing, effing, or busting each other apart. The point is that we never learn from the start to form our heart with you, me, and God. This is the love triangle right here, or we can put it like this. So we can make a heart like this that's lust. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, so you got boobs and camel toe, or you can create you two people coming up short, but when you stretch out to God. So, and again, I never knew you, so depart from me. The iniquity of removing God from you and me shipped our relationship to a wreck, shipped our relations to a wreck, play on words, when we said, what the heck, just to get some neck. And the idolatry of being with someone, in someone, around someone superseded the need for God to be the first to prevent the cycle of hurt. Matthew 7, a tree and its fruit. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. If you don't set boundaries, we both have a part in this mate hate cycle. But be mindful of the attraction of future mates because you can't wait. And be mindful of training you and your children to look for seasonal relationships instead of lifetime mates. Love God, love yourself, then you will attract someone else to love you for a lifetime and that you can love for a lifetime. Both of you will be connected to the vine and provide each other with a lifeline of love that is sourced from above. God is the source of all love because God is love. Just to go deeper, what are you listening to program you to be the attractor of season and or reason friends? What are you doing to imprint yourself with guards to prevent yourself from being loved? From the music to parents' failures to shows to your truth that is not the truth will ruin your mate and create the hate that you use to poison yourself until you break free from those toxic cycles, toxic relationships, self-sabotaging ways. Isaiah 53:4-6 reads, "Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we were healed. And we, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all." Let Jesus be the final fall so you don't have to keep falling in and out of love because you love God first and love yourself. Jesus died so that you don't have to repeat the cycle of mate hate, the cycle of make-up, break-up, the cycle of going from one relationship to the next, the cycle of being bitter versus better. Jesus died to set you free from bondage in your mind. Thus, thorns on his head, may you forever be changed from the cycle of mate hate and be free to love for a lifetime. Yep. It's all in your head. If you place yourself as God over your life, you refuse to yield to the Holy Spirit advice. The grace is always there to give you the care, support, and desires you need, but you are in control of releasing God's word seed. I plead the blood over you, blood of Jesus, to see you as you are known. Love heals, reveals, protects, provides, comforts, and challenges you to be better. Accept the love challenge by loving God and yourself before you deal with someone else. Romans 12:2-3. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Serve God with your spiritual gifts, for I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself or herself more highly than one ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. Have enough faith in the God in you and your submission to God to fulfill the mission of being fruitful, multiplying, to be a fruitful child of God that multiplies God's love, that loves him or herself enough to love somebody else from the abundance of God's love that he has provided all of us with. Have a relationship with God first so you'll know who is for you, who is not for you, who to entertain, who to abstain from, and keep moving. Don't be insane doing the same thing over and over again. Keep your brain intact. Learn social standards for proper etiquette, proper interaction with people, how to communicate effectively without going off the deep end because your emotions are in. Think about it. Where are you going to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now? For so long, I thought I had to have this queen on my side before I pursued my dream of owning property and big time property and and having spas and stuff like that. I mean, just something I always had since my 20s. And here at age 45, 20 something years later, I'm just like, you know what? I could care less whether I have somebody by my side or not. From this point forward in my life, that's no longer a goal of mine. If it comes, it comes. I promise you I'm not worried about it. I am self-sufficient. I've been that way in and out of relationships. Whether people wanted to be with me when they're by my side or not with me, even if they are or are not by my side. So anyway, I pray you got something from this. I pray you see life forward, whether you with somebody or not. Just remember, God is always with you and you're not alone. And when you get that peace, you don't have to worry about all these PIECEs, pieces that don't complete you. God completes you. You're a whole person by yourself. Let me re-say that. God makes you whole. Now, a mate can complete you in terms of bringing those things that you don't have, those skills or something that you don't have. But it's not necessary. You're self-sufficient by yourself. And if you're not ready for nobody. If you're not self-sufficient by yourself, you're not ready for nobody. That's stage one. Be responsible. Manage your money. Men and women, stop looking for somebody to help you pay your bills. It's nice, but guess what? Nobody wants another debt, liability. Take care of your responsibilities.